number 5 of chapter number 7. A license is an example of a personal privilege. An appurtenance easement runs with the land. A property owner wants to use water from a river that runs through the property to irrigate a potato field. To do so, the owner is required by state law to submit an application to the Department of Water Resources describing in detail the plan for beneficial use of the water. If the department approves the owner's application, it will issue a permit allowing a limited amount of river water to be diverted onto the property. Based on this fact, it can be assumed that this property owner state relies on which rule of law? Doctrine of prior appropriation. Which of the following is not an example of governmental power? Dedication. A property owner who has the legal right to use a neighbor's land holds an easement. Again, a property owner who has the legal right to use a neighbor's land holds an easement. Which of the following is a legal life estate? Homestead. Is not a legal life estate is not a leasehold, is not a simple absolute, fee simple absolute, is not a determinable fee, but a legal life estate is a homestead. An owner conveys ownership of her residence to her church, but reserves for herself a life estate in the residence. The future interest held by the church is a remainder. An owner has a fence on his property. By mistake, the fence extends 1 foot over the lot into line onto a neighbor's property. This fence is an example of an encroachment. A tenant who rents an apartment from the owner of the property holds a leasehold interest. Because of homeowner failed to pay their real estate taxes on time, the taxing authority imposed a claim against the homeowner's property. This claim is known as a lien. The type of easement that is a right of way for a utility company power line is an easement in gross. The water right of an owner of property located along the banks of a river are called riparian rights. A landowner has divided much of his land into smaller parcels and has recently sold a tract near a nature preserve that is landlocked and cannot be entered except through one of the other tract. The buyer of the property will probably be granted what type of easement by court action? Easement by necessity. All of the following will terminate an easement: a release of the right of easement to the dominant tenement, abandonment of easement, non-use of a prescriptive easement, except adverse possession by the owner of the servient tenement. In Georgia, a woman's husband died, owning real property and personal property in Georgia. He did not have a will. The woman petitioned the probate court for an outward of real estate and personal property from her husband's estate. Her right to this property is known as years support. Again, a woman's husband died owing real estate and personal property in Georgia. He did not have a will. The woman petitioned the probate court for an hour of real and personal property from her husband's estate. Her right to this property is known as years support. A man owns a house in Georgia that he occupies as his principal residence. He receives a partial exemption from ad valorem taxes and a partial exemption from levy and sale. This exemption is known as homestead.